Everybody knows by now, Godwin Capital No.8, along with other Godwin fundraising companies, have gone into administration after the 12-month delay on loan note repayments, which we were about 7 months into. This is probably affecting hundreds of thousands of investors and hundreds of millions in investments. Look, I know there's going to be some I told you so's in the comments, but please, let's just keep this conversation helpful to the investors impacted by this news. And when I say news, I've been sitting on this video for a while, just soaking up as much information as possible, mainly because there hasn't really been a lot of detail from official sources. So in this video, I'm going to look at the events leading up to the collapse, where we are now, and what investors can expect to happen soon. But before we get into it, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on this video and subscribing to the channel, it really helps push the video. Let's get this in front of as many people as we can. So let's take it back to where things started to get a bit weird. On the 16th of June, I noticed the Godwin LinkedIn pages had been taken down, the news and team pages were removed from the Godwin website, Godwin directors' profiles I was aware of, gone, and now the whole website is completely down. Well, that's when the alarm bell started ringing for me. Despite my introducer being confident it must have been an error, I knew that these sort of changes are not accidental. 2 days later, a Godwin employee posted on a LinkedIn that the entire Godwin office had been made redundant with no pay. The post was quickly deleted, but here's a screenshot. Let me make it clear there's no speculation from me in this video. I'm just reporting published information or things directly sent to me. Then on the 23rd of June, GC8's office address changed from Birmingham to the offices of a company called MHA. And a few days later, I finally got the formal notice from Bluewater and the administrators. But the interesting thing was, I only got the email because I chased Bluewater directly. It turns out my email address had been omitted from the investor register. That might explain why I didn't get any updates from Godwin at the start, like I mentioned in my previous videos. Not that it fucking matters. My point is, all investors should have received emails from Bluewater and MHA by now. If not, chase it up. MHA are asking investors to submit information to support their claims, so make sure you do this with as much detail as possible. Now let's talk about MHA. When I saw the address change for GC8, there was a name on the form, Stephen Ills, an insolvency practitioner and partner at MHA. MHA is the UK arm of Baker Tilly International, a massive accountancy firm. They're top 10 in size and revenue and recently listed on the stock market in April 2025. So it's a company with some clout. They're a leading mid-tier firm, ideal for more specialised, hands-on cases like this. And honestly, I'm glad someone like MHA is handling this. Surely they wouldn't take this on unless they believe there was a payoff. Stephen's working on this case with Andrew Duncan, director at MHA. There's loads online about their careers and it looks like they know their shit. So again, I'm genuinely happy to see them leading the investigation. Right, so what's actually happening right now? In the formal notice sent out to investors, MHA outlined their next steps, which were investigate company records, SPV loan arrangements and direct conduct, assess current SPV projects and potential recoveries, submit a proposal for administration within 8 weeks, file a report to the Secretary of State on any director misconduct within 3 months. So yeah, they're going to be busy digging into everything to build a complete picture. There's no way to guess what the outcome will be yet. We'll just have to wait for their proposal, which is due soon. And like I said earlier, if you haven't received anything from MHA yet, chase Bluewater. That formal letter includes a proof of debt form. I highly recommend every investor fills that in and sends it back. They should have a complete register, but as I've experienced firsthand, they might be missing information. Every bit of extra detail we give MHA helps them get a clearer picture of what the fuck Godwin were up to with our money. Our money, which all investors were told was secure. Well, here's something else from the MHA notice. It said, it is our understanding that the SPV loans were made on an unsecured basis, and this may limit the actions we can take in relation to SPVs. I'm sorry, what? What about the security all of us were sold? A lot of us have it in black and white from our introducers. Should the company fail to return investors' capital within the end of term, Bluewater Capital would flag a default and take control of company assets, liquidate and return original capital to investors. As mentioned, Godwin Capital own in excess of £100 million of property assets to cover any deficit or shortfall. This also includes a first legal charge held by Bluewater Capital when a land site or building is purchased. In addition, the security trustee holds a mortgage debenture over the assets of Godwin Capital No.8 Limited itself. And that's a snippet from just one email. You'd hope Bluewater shared that debenture and security trust deed with MHA. But do these documents mean anything? In a later Q&A document posted on the IPS creditor portal, and no, I didn't get that emailed either, MHA outlined their understanding of the security. They said the money in GC8 and other related companies was used for intercompany loans, and crucially, it is currently understood that those intercompany loans were not secured by charges. That means neither loan note holders nor the company benefit from any legal charge over any of the physical properties being developed by the SPVs. Loan note holders do have security over the debts owed to the company by the SPVs, but not over the SPVs' underlying assets themselves. To me, that structure seems very intentional. Why set up security for the debts owed to us from GC8, but not for the debts GC8 is owed from the developments? It just looks like it gives introducers something to shout about that means fuck all. So, are all parties on the same page about this? Where's the money? What is the status of the developments? Was our money just funneled into a web of companies to be untraceable with no intention of returns? What about assets being sold by other companies owned by the directors? Is there any connection to GC8 there? And how far will MHA go to investigate potential misuse of investor funds? There's just too many questions and not enough answers. Right now, all we can do is wait. Let MHA do their work and see what comes next. This whole thing is stressful as fuck. People have poured decades of savings into this. Hard-earned cash, even pensions, all believing it was a safe place to invest. I started this channel to help people, not for it to become a fucking cesspit of conspiracy theories and rumours. We know the guys at Godwin are a bunch of c***s, but there's nothing we can do right now except stay close to the situation and hope MHA bring us some solid news. As for me, I'm going to step back from this topic for a bit and refocus on the kind of content I originally started this channel for. Solid ways to make money online, budgeting tips and investing, all that good stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe to catch those videos. And of course, I'll post an update as soon as there's anything major on the Godwin situation. If you've got any questions or information to share, let's talk about it in the comments. It might help other investors. I've dropped some links in the description to help you keep track of the situation. I'd massively appreciate a like on the video. Keep your heads up, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.